What's happening now across the Niagara frontier? News stories, old stories, stuff you know about and stuff you'd never believe. It's the Niagara Hub Soapbox with Craig Avery.
Well, we want to welcome one of our artists that helped initiate the art alley. Jonathan Rogers has been a fixture at the NAC for quite a while and has some amazing background and some colorful, pardon the pun, works of art that are pretty cool. One of which is a huge mural at the art alley. Jonathan, welcome. And
thank you. Thanks, Craig.
We met a week or so ago, and I thought it would be fun to have you on and explain a little bit about the life of an artist in Niagara Falls.
Oh, mercy!
How's that for an opening?
Well, it's very, very, very frustrating, but that's true wherever the artist is. The thing that I really have appreciated about having a studio at the NAC is that it's affordable, it's spacious, it's light, the staff is supportive and cooperative, it's a friendly atmosphere, and I have worked my butt off for about 10 years.
Wow.
And it's been very, very satisfying to me. Now I'm looking for a payoff.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I want to market my work. I haven't been concerned about that much at all. I've been very involved in my obsessions.
And I think that happens a lot with artists, don't they?
Yeah.
They don't care about, or they don't want to be distracted with how to sell or how to market or how to get their word out about their product.
What? Huh? Well, I've made a major step.
All right.
A major step. I have a show at the Birchfield Penny in Buffalo a year from now.
Big time.
Yeah. Changed my life. Already has
Really?
changed my life. Just being able to say that puts me in a kind of special category. I mean, there's a million artists out there who'd kill for a show at the Birchfield Penny.
Right.
Oh yeah, I got a show there next year, you know.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's cool. Now, we do have to wait a full year, or you're saying it's going to be in 2017 sometime?
It'll be in the fall of next year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
Now, this right here that's a reproduction of what you did in the art alley. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's...
Yeah, this is the latest, actually, image in a series that I've been working on for 2 or 3 years. And it started off as having a very compelling vision of a running figure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a runner. I used to run around the Hollywood Reservoir every morning.
Wow.
And twice sometimes, 6.6 miles,
Man.
which was impressive at the time, but now I understand there are guys who are running, 80, 90, 100 miles,
I get tired driving 6 miles, so all right,
Yeah.
cool. So you were a runner, and this kind of inspired you.
When I got into my 70s, I realized I had a lot more time behind me than I have ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to achieve something in my diminishing time remaining. And this running figure kept coming to me, and so I drew some. Just on big sheets of paper, and then I graduated to big paintings also. And I called the series Racing Death, because it was dramatic to me.
Wow.
It was this is exciting. It's cool.
Yeah, it's uplifting.
And that alarmed people.
Yes, I think that was a little...
So then I realized what I was really doing was I'm pursuing happiness.
Perfect.
And I was happy doing it, as I've observed all the time. Happiness is frequently found in the pursuit of it. And then, I've done about 250 individual pieces. And then I closed my studio at the NAC. I'm no longer at the NAC. I closed it at the end of June, I think. And then a month later, I closed it down because I'm so old. And I can't I haven't got the energy to work on big paintings anymore.
All right.
And so a couple of weeks after I shut my studio, I was working on this 14-foot mural on ladders, leaning out into space, dabbed out.
Perfect. Keep it going.
I thought, well, I think I shut my studio down a little soon. I was a little hasty about this. But this was fun. And it's not the first time I've used the skull, the death's head. But people have asked me, what does it mean? And that's the last thing to ask an artist,
Exactly.
But I've had to think about it. I think it's important to make a bridge between the picture and a verbal understanding of it. It's because this is inaccessible to a lot of people, and they're alarmed about that, and they don't understand that, and so on. So what's he doing? We proceed on a ground that is formed by the past. The achievements, the bravery, the courage, the disasters, the inventions, all that stuff. And it can produce a lot of discouragement because there's a lot of, if you look at human history and in a very negative way, it's enough to, you just want to blow your brains out.
And therefore the darkness behind him, but he's always running to the light. Is that what you're trying to get to?
For the
light's on my side.
We're full of hope and inspiration. And
there you go.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And how do you think this whole art alley, do you think that's going to help promote art in a sense, or is that just going to promote a safe place in Niagara Falls, or what's going to happen with that? You're a part of it.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be an extraordinary draw or anything, but it will attract people. It's very attractive when you go by, you see all this imagery, you're sort of pulled in.
You gotta go in.
And I've noticed a lot of people in there, even in this cold weather. But there's a great demonstration of local talent. There's a wide range of imagery and style, and mostly by people, well, I was going to say mostly by young people. They're all young to me. Chuck Tingley is an emerging young artist. I've met him, and I can't claim I wouldn't recognize him if I bumped into him on the street, but and I met several of the artists there, and they're very devoted to what they're doing. They're full of it. It's great. Been working there, in the heat of the summer. Those very hot days, and it was only good for 2 or 3 hours. And there was a kid there. Her name was Madonna. And she was working on her mural. It was on a cold day, actually. And she just, I was done after a while. I got to go and get a hot chocolate or something. And I left her there, and she's crouched down on the ground. She's painting over and over and standing back and getting it right, really persisting and perfecting and polishing and getting it so that it was something that obviously she cared about. And there's some of them that are a little bit dismissive, I think. But hey, it embraces all the styles, and it gives people something to compare and so on.
So how do you promote this now? How does Jonathan Rogers get his stuff out there and have people buy this? I could see this being at a booth at a marathon or something, and a T-shirt with that design or something like that. How do you
should mention that, Craig.
Wow.
This series, The Pursuit of Happiness, has become interesting to the marathon people out there in America, and there's millions of them.
There's a lot of them.
So I'm trying to make some connections there so that these images are available on coffee mugs and fridge magnets and
well, there you go.
T-shirts and all that. There's nothing significant to look at here in Niagara Falls as a revenue-producing
Right.
entity. And so I'm going to offer some of these to people I know. 24 Below. Is it still called that on Third here?
Yeah.
And they have a lot of artwork in there, and
A lot
these
of
are
original
affordable.
stuff. That's perfect.
And so I'm going to drop a few off there.
Okay.
Um,
And then you have a website, I take it.
I have a
Everyone has that
website. It's like a grain of sand on the Sahara.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about it.
Right. But it only takes one grain of sand to get in your eye, and it'll mess your day up. So. So
Well,
you you can make it work.
I've never gotten. That's a new one. That's a new one. Huh.
You can use that. If you want.
Yeah. What I need is a good website designer, computer expert person who can put all my stuff on a website when it has a shopping cart and it's got prices and the way it's done.
Yeah.
I haven't a clue. I couldn't begin to do that.
All right. Well, maybe somebody out there will be looking, and possibly even the guy behind the camera might have some solutions for you.
Oh, indeed.
But and that's all it takes.
Connections.
It starts to go. I'm not a Facebook person, but I know that there's an avenue there too.
Yes,
it's
there
more
is.
than just people, but you never know
I've
who's
heard
gonna.
about it, and I read about it, and people succeeding in this way, and I just it's out of my
Right.
right. It's out of my history. I need an assistant who's 10 years old because they know everything.
Exactly.
They grow up with
They know
it.
how to do it. But
Yeah.
but without a doubt, an assistant who's 10 years old is never going to come up with imagery like this. And you've got books full of things that I think are very nice. I'm not an art critic, but I think it's cool stuff. And
Yeah.
I'd buy a coffee mug as long as they didn't have to run 6 miles. That'd be
Yeah,
fine.
right.
I don't have to buy into the life, but I do like the imagery. That's kind
Oh,
of
thank you.
So
Thank you. It's provocative, they tell me. I've had a couple of shows of the Pursuit of Happiness images, and some of us will go around with the viewers and overhear what's being said. And there's some really cool things like, "Oh, honey, that's you." That's what you're like. This shattered figure, or struggling to run, or falling down, or on fire and full of it. And oh yeah, I feel like that. And modern art never meant anything to me till I saw these.
Well,
I thought that was kind of epic.
Yeah.
And let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, and frequently people say, "Fuck, whoa, fuck! Look at this."
Well,
I spell it
out of them.
Fahhhhhk.
There you go. Really. Well, that's great, and yeah, definitely the images that I saw. Different personalities within the marathon community. I'm sure
Yeah.
could each pick themselves out, or I'm getting this for Billy because this reminds me of him. Or
That
whatever.
happens.
So,
Yes. Yeah.
So then you just got to get out there and do it then. So.
I'm getting out there. Yeah,
Cool.
I've been sort of. I've spent most of my time in my studio at the NAC for the last 10 years, and now I don't have a studio anymore, and it coincides with a change of objectives in me. I really do want to see some payoff. Because all I have is Social Security, and if I can make some more, something to leave for my kids to carry on with and achieve their happiness and their dreams, their goals, their objectives, their potential.
Sure.
and or whomever it may profit. I'm all for it.
All right. Well, and you know, certainly no one's going to buy the stuff unless they see it. So you have to get it out there.
Thanks.
Unless you're a hired, you know, dinner speaker or something like that. I could see you sitting in the summer in the art alley talking to people. I could see you being somebody just talking about art. That'd be kind of cool. But you know, we're not going to throw quarters in your violin case or anything.
Yeah, really.
But we got to get the imagery out there. So we'll try to do that, and maybe we can have you come back, give us a little update when you're getting close to the Birchfield Penny thing. Now you've got something else coming up on the 17th.
Yeah.
And what is that? Tell us about that, and then we'll wrap it up here.
That's my obsession in this life. I haven't always been clear about it, but looking back on the last almost 80 years, I can see a pattern. I've been trying to define nothing definite.
Okay.
Everybody knows what it is, but nobody knows what it is.
Okay.
And in my studies of perception and originating with artwork, of course, but also overlapping into all our sensory perception of tangible. We have, you know, touch and taste and smell and hearing as well as visual. And I've broken it down to very simple examples. And they're a little abstracted. For visually, for example, if you look at black and white, that's pretty basic, and it really doesn't have a lot to do with the view over the Niagara Gorge, you know, but it's visual perception, and discussed and experienced in terms of black and white. White defines that black, or black defines that white. They're interdependent.
Sure.
And it's a very interesting viewpoint. And the same principle applies for all the senses.
Okay. So how does that tie into this thing on November 17th?
I'm going to demonstrate
Okay.
all these things.
All right.
And
that is going to be where?
Then there's a step into intangible perception. How do we perceive an idea? How do we know what we feel? Da-da-da-da. And that's more detailed than I want to get into
Okay. All
here.
right. Well, keep them guessing here.
Yeah.
And today we're filming this on Election Day, so speaking of keeping things guessing, we don't know how we're going to come out tonight or tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
But we do know that you've got a neat future in getting this imagery out there and getting your story out there. I think you're a very interesting guy, and we're anxious to have you come back and talk to us.
Well, that cheers me
Well,
up. Greg. Thank you.
And we'll post some of the information. We've got that thing on the 17th, and where is it?
It's at the NAC.
At the Woodbox Theater. I'm reading that right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come in and heckle you a little bit. That'd be fun.
Oh, okay.
So,
You notice at the bottom of the poster it says that we're going to be recording this on video. I'm going to have cameras and sound pickup.
Cool.
So people are warned in advance that they might turn up on, in the picture.
Witness protection, they should probably go somewhere else that night.
If it bothers them,
Very good.
But also, I don't know how I'm going to get a release form from everybody when this goes, when it produces
viral,
big revenue.
or whatever. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, nice talking with you. Let's get the word out, and
Okay.
you stay in touch with us. All right.
I promise.
Very good, buddy. Thanks.
Okay.